Canelo Alvarez says Mayweather versus McGregor will hurt his sport, the sport of boxing. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops.
But I've mastered that style. It's like the 5 deadly venoms. All he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, and he could destroy it.
Believe in that, for real. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest. If you want to become part of notification, gang, we in here. Hit that bell icon, and you'll get the alerts. Now, Canelo's he's in a big boy fight, September 16th. We're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely give you guys as much attention and coverage for all the meaningful fights that are on the calendar, all the great fights, and his is one of them. September 16th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Las Vegas will be lit. Now, he did an interview with ESPN Deportes. Obviously, he's doing the promo tour before he can go back to his camp in his gym and get his training in. And he said a quote, I thought it was interesting enough for a video. That's why you're getting it. Now, we know a couple weeks before his fight with Golovkin, the recently announced Mayweather versus McGregor, Floyd did an open LA workout. Shout out to Tin Goose and Jim. And people are paying attention to it. Floyd looked like he was in great shape as usual, per usual. And let's talk about what Canelo said. Canelo says, I have respect for both Mayweather in his sport and McGregor in his, but this combination is pure show. They are going to hurt boxing a lot with this fight. I've tried not to comment because people know it's pure show. I know what's going to happen, and I'm not much of a fan of watching fights like that, and especially one like this. I like to see interesting fights, not this. And I'm gonna tell you guys, on my channel, straight shooter. I call a spade a spade. I really fuck with Canelo. I like the improvements. I like, even outside the ring, I like where his head's at. He's very mature. Sometimes I even forget how young he is. I'm like, man, this dude's younger than Broner, because you look at the contrast. Broner sometimes gets in trouble and stuff. You don't really hear that. Canelo, he has a little cool looking model chick and he just stays out the way. I respect that. You know what I mean? When it comes time to fight and lace him up, he showed you the improvements. I take nothing away from him. He's actually one of my favorites to watch stylistically. I like how he can scrap. He can scrap. But like I said, I call a spade, and this is rubbish. It's pure hypocrisy to say these words, and I'm gonna break it down. Some people are gonna get mad. They're gonna dislike the video or leave a comment. Oh, you're hating, whatever. Cool. But at the end of the day, I have quite the following, years of hard work, and if you're real and in your heart of all hearts, you'll hear what I have to say, and the real is gonna recognize real and understand it. The fake, I don't know. We're not gonna really worry about them. But the reason it is very hypocritical is because, yes, Canelo is fighting Golovkin, no complaints, and I try my best not to cry over spilled milk. But in situations like this, where I have to show you guys a contrast, let's take a trip down memory lane. Just last year and the year before that, 2015, it was December, Team Canelo and Team Golovkin had a meeting with the WBC kind of overseeing it, and they agreed that they would take a voluntary title defense fight, and then they would meet last September 2016. Canelo fought Amir Khan. Golovkin fought Dominic Wade. I covered that Wade fight. Both guys got a knockout, and guess what? Come time for them to both fight in September, they didn't fight. Canelo was going through a lawsuit with a former promoter, his promoter that really initially put him on, All Star Boxing, and he said, I'm not going to be held to these artificial deadlines, whoop-de-whoop, and he vacated his belt. The rest is history. He gave it to Golovkin. Now Golovkin, that's one less fight Golovkin had to have to acquire a belt. Golovkin beat Jacobs and consolidated the belt, so he beat David Lemieux for the IBF belt. But Canelo gifted the belt because he wasn't trying to negotiate for whatever reason. Cool, right? That is the history. And when you look at Canelo versus Amir Khan, I did a video immediately after the fight was announced, and I told you guys I wasn't looking for this fight. I wasn't checking for it. And I even did a video. Type it in. 7 reasons why Canelo Alvarez and Amir Khan should not fight next. That's the video. And it's up. And people are like, you don't know Amir Khan, he can outbox. Nope. I told you what was going to happen in that fight. Canelo's simply too big and too strong. And Amir Khan, although he's a quality fighter and a silver medalist, he was moving up, daring to be great. And he had been stopped in 2 previous divisions, 35 and 40. Not to mention, he had been hurt at catchweights with Julio Diaz and stuff like that. Julio Diaz is a career lightweight, and he knocked him down. You know what I mean? I've seen that back in the day. Willie something knocked Amir Khan down. So he'd been hurt on top of being stopped. I think Collazo even hurt him in the fight. Some people don't pay attention because they just think about, oh, Khan, he knocked down Collazo 3 times. I'm pretty sure Collazo hurt him. Chris Algieri hurt him in the first round. Took a long layoff. So for what Canelo's saying, this is why it's rubbish to me, because he says, I'm a fan of watching fights like that. I'm not a fan of watching fights. I want to see interesting fights, but that wasn't an interesting fight. You know what I mean? And I told you guys, one of the big reasons for me, which turned out to be 100% true, why I did not want to see Canelo versus Amir Khan, because Amir Khan to me has not showed the Floyd Mayweather level of dominance or defense where he can annihilate Canelo and win that many rounds. Even in the Mayweather fight, where I thought Floyd put on a masterclass performance, one judge still said it was a draw. So we know on the scorecards, very hard to fully beat Canelo. Fully beat. He's an A-side, he's likable, women like him, he can scrap, well, whatever. He's hard to beat on them scorecards. Ask Edeslandi Lara. Like I said, the Mayweather Canelo was nowhere near a draw. That's why CJ Ross's dumbass retired or whatever, got fired shortly after turning in that stupid card, right? So that's what I knew. I knew Amir Khan, either he would be hurt by Canelo, which it turned out. When have we seen Amir Khan knocked out with one single shot? Just completely, he's out of it. He's out. You know what I'm saying? He's been hurt and stuff, but he hadn't been knocked out. He still hasn't come back to this point. Canelo's fought probably like 2 or 3 times since then, right? Or he's on the press tour probably for his 3rd time. So it was a bad fight for Amir Khan. I mean, but money talks. He got $5 million plus or whatever, and he made the fight. He has, you know what I mean? No one can challenge Amir Khan's stones. He clearly, no matter what, he has self-belief, and even if he comes up short, he believes in his skill set. But I told you guys that was a bad fight. You know what I mean? And for Canelo to say, oh, I'm a fan of interesting fights, I told you that was what was going to happen. Same thing with Liam Smith. And they label me the Canelo hater. You know what I'm saying? The radical fans. Oh, you're just hating Canelo. What happened? Liam Smith did nothing like I expected because no one had even heard of him. And although he's tough, he's still not world class. He hadn't fought, you know what I mean? Like Liam Walsh looked pretty tough, but he got in there with Tank Davis, who has a great amateur background, and he got blown out. Like, you know what I mean? But that was different because Tank Davis fought his mandatory. The Liam Smith, that was a fight that really didn't need to happen, because you notice Canelo made 54, even though he had been making 55, and he left the division anyway. So it's not like he sat around defending versus the Charlo or Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You fought that fight, which didn't need to happen, and had probably no intentions of staying, because you knew your camp knows how hard it is to make weight, or if it was hard or getting harder and stuff like that. So for Canelo to be like, oh, Mayweather-McGregor is this, and that, and I like to see interesting fights. Your whole 2016, none of them were interesting fights. None. You know what I mean? Amir Khan, exactly what I thought would happen, happened. That was very easy to predict. Amir Khan could do well. You have to adjust to his speed. He shows heart. He's going to get combinations off. And the minute he slows down, he cannot afford to make any mistakes. And if he does, a good counterpuncher and a strong kid, and Canelo would probably sleep him. But even if it went to the scorecards, he would probably lose that. 2 of the 3 judges had Canelo up. And I thought Amir Khan was was definitely in the lead at that point, but it didn't matter because he got knocked out. But I thought Amir Khan won like the first 4 rounds because Canelo had to get his timing down and Amir Khan was getting off first, but Canelo was doing subtle body shots and naturally bigger, so he slowed Canelo down, or he slowed Khan down. 5th round he slowed down even more, and then the 6th round he clipped him and got him out of there. But I mean, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, it's like I don't like when people are so hypocritical. You know what I mean? Like just call it what it is. Mayweather-McGregor influences the buys on Canelo versus Golovkin, so that's why you're so against it. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo watches the fight, because just like most people, even though everybody's saying Mayweather, the two have big enough personalities and a lot of spark and charisma where you just want to satisfy that curiosity. You just want to see what's going to happen. Like, it's not even about, like, even if Mayweather wins, can Conor even challenge him? Can he just do some weird stuff? Will Conor flip out and like, you'll do nothing, and kick him in the head? People are going to watch for all those reasons. Will Conor, you know what I mean? Like, will Conor lose his temper and, you know what I mean, do some capoeira shit or try to break Mayweather's arm? You know, you don't know. And people are going to tune in for all those reasons. So let's be real. You know what I mean? And I've issued a challenge. I already told you. All the YouTube people that try to do what I do, and other people, if you write articles for boxing sites and stuff, don't talk about Mayweather-McGregor. If everything you say is negative and it just ruins the sport of boxing, then demonetize any video about Mayweather-McGregor and don't talk about it. See, what happens is, I'm gonna tell you, like Bernie Mac, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I tell what people are thinking, and at the end of the day, people are greedy and people are hypocrites. They will say, oh, this is bullshit, I'm gonna stream it. But if it's the worst fight ever and all this stuff you guys are saying, why would you even stream it? Why would you even waste your time? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because there's been certain fights, like let's say Kermit Cintron. I mean, Canelo knocked him out. He's not really even popping right now, so I don't even get to catch all those fights. You know what I mean? I don't make the time for that because it's not of interest to me. You know what I mean? Why would you even stream it if it's the worst thing that's ruining boxing? That's how I know some of you guys are full of shit. And then for the people who commentate or whatever on boxing, why talk about it? Don't talk about it. Don't make money off it. Don't monetize your videos to this. Don't look for views. Don't look for, you know what I mean? But people, again, they want to have their cake and they want to eat it too. And that's my challenge. If it's, I told you guys straight up, I'm very transparent. When I first started, I did a lot of this boxing stuff pro bono. Like, when you first start out, you're not really seeing mass amounts of money. You know what I mean? Ask anyone who's successful in YouTube. When they first start, it doesn't really work like that. You don't just come in and you're making a ton of money. You know what I mean? You're just like, I remember when I got my first check, it was like, not my very first, but I remember when I got the first check that was like $175. I was like, whoa, this is dope. You know what I mean? I was just like, damn, me talking about boxing, I can make an extra $175. Dope. You know what I mean? I already had a regular job, a 9-to-5 job, a full-time job. So that was just extra money. I can just, you know what I mean, go to the casino or just chill with a girl or whatever. You know what I mean? But you're not making crazy amounts of money. And I told you, I'm very transparent. This is now my full-time job. I don't do nothing else. That's why you guys see me covering fights and traveling and stuff. This is what I do. I got a website. Shout out to my writer Bakari, www.boxingego.com or boxingego.com. This is what it is. This is what I do. Very transparent. I will make money off of Mayweather-McGregor. You know what I mean? Because this is what I do. And I don't have a problem with the fight because I'm looking at the fight for what it is. It's a spectacle. It's a freak show. It's a circus. It's entertainment. You got, like I said, 2 charismatic guys. Like, I'm gonna beat this boy ass. You know, yeah, I eat pizza. I eat Taco Bell. Easy work. You know what I'm saying? And then Conor goes, you don't do nothing. And all that. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I was a big fan of wrestling. You know what I mean? And this is almost similar. It's just something weird. Rocky versus Thunderlift. It's just something you don't see every day. So I'll be covering it. But a lot of snakes and fakes, they want to say, oh, this is ruining boxing, but they want to make money off it too. You know what I'm saying? If the best way, my mom always told me, like, if you really want something to to fizzle out and like die basically, then pay it no mind. Don't shed no light on it. You know what I'm saying? If Mayweather-McGregor is really all of this, then don't answer questions. Be like, it's not my fight. I'm worried about Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact he's gonna watch it. And now the second reason why this is hypocritical, there's reasons. I might fuck around and do a 7 reasons video, because there's multiple reasons. Here's the second reason why this is hypocritical, because your own promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, came stumbling out of a nightclub or whatever, and he's like, yeah, Canelo, he's Irish. They'll think he's Irish and Conor's Irish. You know what I mean? And he's doing an interview with TMZ saying he wants to make the fight. And the buck didn't stop there. He did an interview after that, not outside of a club or wherever, LA night scene, and he did it with Fight Hub, and he said that I would love to manage or work with Conor and put that on. That's the real fight based on their styles. Canelo and Conor McGregor. That's hypocritical. Why did you want to make it? So when it was your fighter, you were down to make it. And it just doesn't make sense. So your own promoter was going to throw you in there. If Floyd said no, and then Conor was like, oh, I'll fight Canelo, you know what I'm saying? He would have did it. There's nobody, you got to understand simple mathematics, or in Spanish, matemáticas, right? Simple mathematics. And you tell me one pro fighter who does this for a living, anything. So if someone says, like, okay, put it this way, say you're an Uber driver, right? No matter what your profession is, but for this example, say you're an Uber driver, right? And you're normally going long distances, let's say cross country for some reason, to make your money, bow, bow, bow. And then someone says, hey, if you just drop me off at the airport, I'll give you $40,000, right? And you're not making $40,000 driving all across country. But someone said, take me to the airport. I'm wealthy, I'm well off, money ain't a thing, I really like you. $40,000 to take me to the airport, which is closer than what you have been driving. You would take it. This is what you do anyway. You do rideshare, you do Uber, you do Lyft, and this is no different. Yes, Floyd could easily say, I'm fighting my friend Errol Spence, or which wouldn't happen. And it's so funny. That's another thing, is when it comes to a lot of times African-American fighters, I notice you don't care if they're boys, you don't care if they're friends. If you want to see them fight, you want to see them fight. And that's fair if it was across the board. But we've seen time and time again issues like, let's say Jamal and Jermell Charlo, right? They're both great fighters. They were both at 54. People say they got to fight each other, or they got to fight their stablemate Edeslandi Lara, right? But Brandon Rios didn't fight his stablemate Maidana and that would have been a great fight, right? He didn't fight Mikey Garcia in a pro fight. I'm not talking about sparring. But Jermell and Jamal Charlo have to. But the Klitschko's, they don't have to fight each other because they're brothers. Well, Jamal and Jermell are brothers too. And people still want to see him fight, right? And that's just how that's the way of the world. Like, Floyd has to fight Errol Spence, even though he's friends with them and he's heavily promoted the Errol Spence name. But Lucas Matisse and Marcos Maidana, who are friends and countrymen, and they've actually fought before in the amateurs, they don't have to fight because they're friends. That would have been a great fight, Matisse versus Maidana. So once again, the double standards and proving that a lot of y'all are full of shit because you don't push for those fights. You don't push for Matisse versus Maidana. That would have been a great fight, but you're accepting of the fact that they're fellow countrymen and they're friends, so they don't have to. But Broner and Maidana, you don't care, or Broner and Mayweather, you don't care about that relationship. You know what I mean? Errol Spence and Floyd, you don't care about that relationship because you don't like them. You know what I mean? You don't like either guy, so oh well, you know what I mean? Somebody's gotta go. You know what I mean? Errol's or Floyd, so either way you win. That's how this thing goes, right? So ultimately, it doesn't make sense to hate. Like I said, if you don't want to watch, then don't promote, don't talk about it, don't mention it. Focus on you, focus on all the great boxing fights, and that's how fake people are. They're not talking about Joe Smith Jr. versus Sullivan Barrera, which I'm really excited for. I actually hit up Sullivan Barrera, talked to him, so I might go out there and mess with him, train him, right? They don't care about that. They don't want to promote that. They want to talk about what's hot, what's trending, which happens to be Mayweather-McGregor, but then they want to shit on it. It don't work like that. You pick a side. If you hate it, don't support it. Don't, you know what I mean? I would respect that a whole lot more, but they want to get paid off of it and have people, even if people are congregating to say how bullshit the fight is, they want to make videos about it or articles about it to drive up traffic, to get views, things like that. But like I said, using the Uber example, Floyd, he could fight Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? I wouldn't pick any of these welterweights to beat him. You know what I mean? That's just me. But he could fight Keith Thurman. He could fight Danny Garcia, right? But those would be actual boxing fights, and none of those guys would generate what Conor's going to generate. You know what I'm saying? So if Floyd could rob the bank, get some easy work off, or, you know what I mean, maybe McGregor can make it awkward just because he's not a textbook boxer. I don't know. I mean, obviously Floyd's a favorite, but there's no one in America that I can think of, or anywhere, that is unwilling to do the same job they normally do, an easier version of that, you know what I mean, for more money. It's simple. McGregor has put himself in a position where he's an entertainer as well. People recognize the brand, the McGregor you'll do fucking none brand, and they recognize the face, and he's, in his world, he's been able to capitalize and captivate the hearts of fans, and he generates money. Floyd's already proven so, and this is the other thing. Floyd has already proven his work time and time again, and people don't give him credit. So you really think Floyd, at this point, he's already beat world champions in boxing? This is the first time that I can even think of where Floyd was ever going to fight. It's going to be 50 fights, and out of damn near 50 fights, 49 fights or whatever, this is the first time he's even considered, that I know of, fighting a guy who was primarily an MMA fighter. I don't remember any other opponent like that, right? And people still don't give him credit. They say, "Oh, you're a runner." Every reason in the book for his best wins, he beat Ricky Hatton, it's the ref's fault. Oh, the ref wouldn't let Ricky Hatton work. He beat Canelo. Oh, it's the catch weight, even though Canelo said he'll fight him at 150. Oh, Canelo was way too green. He beats Juan Manuel Marquez after a 2-year layoff. Oh, Marquez jumped up. Floyd drug him up, even though Marquez is the one that called Floyd out. You see how this game works? You know what I mean? Some of y'all don't know shit about boxing. That's what it is. So, it's disappointing because Canelo, he's being a hypocrite. Golden Boy, they're being hypocrites. And, I mean, I understand it from a business perspective because they kind of fucked your event over by staging another mega fight. De La Hoya said it himself. I made a video about it. He said it's like having the Super Bowl and 3 weeks later having the World Series. But that's what happens when you're the A side and you want to pull rank. And like, this is business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know different people with different boxing media outlets. You know what I mean? Some of them we're cool and we speak when we see. Some of them I don't really know. Stuff like that. I don't have no problems with nobody. But if we both have the same footage, I guarantee you it's almost a competition to see who could get their footage up first. Like, you know what I mean? If we had Adrian Broner and he body slammed some fan or something, then everybody in the boxing media who had that footage is going to be trying to get their footage up first. There ain't no like go easy on me or let me upload my video first and then there's no rules to this shit. It's you know what I mean, get in where you fit in. And that's what De La Hoya and Golden Boy don't realize. You're like, oh, that's like having the Super Bowl and the World Series. Oh, well, it's a business. Business, they don't care about that. In business, you want to cut your opponent off. If this is driving in traffic, you want to cut your opponent off and get a head start and stuff. This is business. I don't owe nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't owe it to you to ensure that your business is popping or successful. You know what I mean? That's business. Motherfuckers want you to fail. It's a Shark Tank. You know what I mean? Oh, why would you stage it right there? You could have had it in October or November. Nope, because I want to ruin your event. That's business, straight up. That's any business. I worked at Lowe's, and we used to take our vest off. The managers, I was a manager, salary manager or whatever. They allotted us a certain amount of time, and we would go to the Home Depot across the freeway, like just across the street, basically. Not across the street, but a little ways down the road. And we would scope out to see what Home Depot is doing right versus wrong. And sometimes you even take ideas. You're like, oh, that's very popular, this end cap with tile in front of the store, or the way they have their riding lawnmowers in the front or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you get in where you fit in. This is just basic hustling and basic like business 101. So, you know what I mean? De La Hoya talking about, oh, you could have put this in November, October. Why do that when he could fuck your event up? Straight up. I mean, that's it. And it's all, you have to have the confidence in your event. You know what I mean? That, hey, we're a true boxing fight. We can outdo this fight. You know what I mean? We'll promote the fuck out of it, and that's what it is. But all these people talking about Mayweather-McGregor, don't talk about it. Don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. I'm one of the realest people in this game, I feel. And I told you guys straight up, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna do videos about it, and I'm gonna get paid off of it. This is business 101. And I like both. I like Mayweather and I like McGregor, so I'm definitely gonna watch it. See, I don't get on here and try to be something that I'm not. I'm me through and throughout. You know what I mean? I don't get on here and not speak my mind. And at the end of the day, ain't no one gonna do nothing. I get paid from YouTube, Google. So like no one can stop me from being honest with the fans and the public. Like I said, you hate the fight, it's gonna ruin boxing and all that. Don't watch it. Simple. Don't promote it by even talking about it. But they don't want to do that. They want to still talk about it because they know it's big. They still want to hate on it and make Instagram and Facebook posts and videos about it and articles, but they want to tell people how bad it is. Like, I mean, even De La Hoya, since we're being honest, De La Hoya is talking about Mayweather-Pacquiao that happened in 2015. Do you understand that unless I'm referencing for an analogy's sake or something, I'm not even really worried about what fights happened in 2015. I'm not like Danny Garcia, but I mean Lucas Matisse. If it weren't for, that fight is old. That was on the same card. I'm not even worried about that unless I'm referencing Garcia's resume or comparing something specific in that fight. But De La Hoya keeps talking about how it ruined boxing. And finally, I'll leave you guys with this. I've interviewed a couple of people about this. Berto, Jesse Vargas, and actually it's been a good amount of people. I asked everybody. The Rock Nation president, Michael Yormark, and none of them had the same thing to say. And these people don't, Berto's not getting paid off of this directly. He lost to Mayweather. He's friends with Conor McGregor, but he's not getting, you know what I mean, it's not part of his event. Same thing with Rock Nation Press. It's not his event, but he's still not going out of his way to hate. He's like, it is, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's gonna make some money, and we would do the same thing. He was straight up like a true G. He told us that, you know what I'm saying? He was like, it makes business sense. I would do it. Same thing with Jesse Vargas. Like I said, you don't like it, don't watch it. But in response to Canelo, what he said about this is pure show, they are going to hurt boxing a lot with this fight. Explain that. I just want somebody to explain what this detriment, this hurts boxing. What is it gonna do to boxing? Like, I'm not understanding. It's a freak show, it's a circus, I'll give you that. But what is it gonna do to boxing to hurt it? We're having such a phenomenal 2017 with all-star matchups that we've been wanting. Kell Brook, Errol Spence finally goes down, right? Joshua steps up and fights a legend like Klitschko, right? Canelo's fighting Golovkin. And then you got a lot of like just other fights, other tier fighters, Sullivan Barrera, Joe Smith, Sor Rungvisai Chocolatito, which was a Fight of the Year candidate, doing a rematch. So what is this really going to do to in such a great year? How's it going to hurt? Like what is going to happen? It's going to make a lot of money, so it doesn't hurt boxing financially, right? And this is how I know people, once again, are being fake, is if this hurts so much, what you guys do when you you just blurt something out, but you don't analyze it for consistency to see if your excuse makes sense all the way through. You know what I mean? So, for example, people are saying Mayweather's going to beat Conor McGregor's ass. This hurts boxing. This ruins boxing. So, why are they also saying Floyd's boring and he's a runner? So, you think Conor's going to get his ass kicked and has no chance, which would make for an exciting Mayweather performance, because that's why you hated him before, because he was a runner and he's boring. So this shouldn't be boring because Conor has no chance and he's going to get his ass whooped and possibly stop, right? So now you don't care if it's entertaining because you don't, again, it all stems back to they don't want the villain Floyd Mayweather to win, because like I said before, no one's really came up with an intelligent rebuttal. If this was happening with UFC rules, do you think any of these people would be complaining, saying, oh, sending our best boxer over to UFC, this hurts the sport of boxing? No, they wouldn't, because they know they would really want to watch, because they're like, damn, Floyd might get his ass kicked in that cage, in that octagon. But since it's in his world, his rules, he's the A side, and a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't want him to win anyway. Now you're upset because you have a good idea from history. No matter how much you bash Mayweather and say gay runner and gay feather, Mayflower and all this dumb shit, you know he's good. At the end of the day, you know he's good. And truth always comes out, and that's why people are scared, because they probably like Conor McGregor. He's iconic, and you don't want him, he already tapped out versus Nate Diaz, you don't want him to get swept or embarrassed or Arturo Gotti'd in this particular fight. Rest in peace to Gotti. And that's the truth of the matter. Like I said, if this was in UFC rules, it wouldn't be all, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And like I said, don't talk about it. If it's the worst thing ever, focus on all the great fights that boxing's getting. Focus on Joshua Klitschko 2 or whatever Deontay Wilder, Dillian White possibly fight. You know what I mean? Talk about that. Why are you talking about Mayweather-McGregor? Pay it no mind. You notice I haven't really done too many Kodo Kamagai videos, because that's stuff on the back end. If I have extra time, I'll make a video about it, because this is what I do. But there's so many great fights, I got to focus on those before I can get to several Kodo Kamagai videos. And that's just the straight up truth. So I'm waiting for someone to tell me what this does to hurt boxing, because we always hear from the same usual suspects. Andre Ward beats him, beats Kovalev. They try to make it like it's some controversy. Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm never watching boxing again. I can't believe this. I'm going to the UFC, man. I'm going to watch tennis. Get your ass out of here then. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all all do that petty threats, and then I see your usernames. You be right back on the next big fight. Or maybe you're truthful, and that just goes to show me you were never vested in boxing anyway. If you're going to let any one fight alter your perception over such a great, beautiful sport, then you weren't really a fan anyway. You know what I mean? Like I told you, some of my favorite actors off the top of my head: Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, and Robert De Niro, right? They all have classics. Yeah, okay. Oh, you think you could do this to me, huh? Jake! Right? Classics, all of them. Brad Pitt, Seven, Fight Club, California, some of y'all don't know about that, True Romance, Troy, right? Tons of classic movies. If Brad Pitt puts out one suspect movie that I don't like, I'm not like, middle finger to Brad Pitt, fuck you, I hate you. You know what I mean? Denzel, same thing. He had that movie where people were touching people and like falling or something like that. I wasn't really a big fan of that. But he has Malcolm X. He has Training Day, one of my favorite. Are you a sheep or you a wolf? Right? American Gangster. Ricochet. Nice and easy. I'm putting the gun down. Nice and easy. Yeah, I think you get the point now, Blake. Right? Classics. So because he put out that one movie, Fallen, I'm not like disowning Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? Or same thing with De Niro. He's been in some suspect movies. But I like his classics. You know what I mean? I like The Untouchables. I like Robert De Niro in The Godfather. I like the one with Wesley Snipes, The Fan. I like Heat. I like all those movies. You know what I'm saying? Ronin. Goodfellas. Casino. Get this through your head, you motherfucker, you. Right? I watched all those. So because Robert De Niro puts out one bad movie, it doesn't ruin movies for me. It doesn't remove De Niro's whole catalog. And that's how these radical fans try to act like. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, I'm never watching boxing again because Ward won. He won by low blows. I'll never watch boxing again. Mayweather-McGregor, this is bullshit. I'm never watching. You weren't a fan then. If Mayweather-McGregor is that serious, that instead of just not watching and focusing on the good fights, you're not. That's how I know some of y'all are full of shit. I'm done talking. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe to this video. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.